Did you ever feel like you're not doing enough? Like everyone is practicing more than you? Like you can't focus for more than 2 hours a day? Like everything is hurting you? Like you're not motivated? You don't know what to play? You don't know how to practice? You see no improvement? Well, I'm Maria. I've been playing violin for more than 15 years now. I study at Royal College of Music, and I wanted to share with you my tips for practicing. So here is everything I know. First things first, before. I think the most important thing that we all need to have is a plan, a good plan. Write down what you are playing at the moment. Write that down in order. For example, what is most important to you? What do you need to play in 2 weeks on the concert? What do you need to play in a year on your exam? Like, there are different levels of importance. So, for example, I will tell you what I have to play right now. In a week, I need to play Carmen Fantasy with orchestra. So it needs to be on the top of my list. Then I'm doing Tsigan. I want it to be ready in 3 weeks, for example, so I can play it and then leave it and start playing another things. The third thing is Bach fugue. I have an exam in March and I have to play the fugue. I know intonation is my weak spot, so I need to practice every day intonation slowly and I need to focus on it. So do your list, see what's most important to you, what do you need to spend most time on practicing. The next thing is plan out when do you want to practice. For example, the thing that works for me is practicing early in the morning, because by doing that I know that later I will have time for different things. I will have time to rest, I will have a lot of time to do self-care, to do all of the things that I want to do without stressing that I didn't play enough. Also in the morning I have a clear head, I don't think about anything I have to do. I know that it's just time for me and violin. Maybe your time is evening, I don't know. Or maybe you want to practice for 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the afternoon, 1 hour in the evening. It's all up to you. Like, try different things, see what do you like the most, see when you're the most productive. I don't know, do a test on the internet. There are a lot of tests when you can see if you're a night owl or early bird or whatever. 3, find where do you want to practice. Do I want to practice in my room? Do I want to practice in a practice room? Do I want to practice at college? Do I want to practice outside? I don't know. When it's like early morning, I practice in practice rooms because nobody could hear me there. But when it's not early in the morning, I just want to practice. I don't have much time. I like to practice in my room. But this is dangerous because if you practice in your room, there's a bed next to you. Like, there's a bed next to you and you can lie down anytime you want. You can do whatever you want in your room. Like, there are a lot of things that can disrupt you. So go to a practice room without your phone. Find another room in your house. So finding your place is also very important. As I mentioned earlier, I like to practice the most in the morning. But in order to properly wake up and have energy in the morning, I need to work out for half an hour. Hello, sport is important to musicians, you know. You have to have strong body. You don't have to have muscles, but you have to have some muscles because they're helping you, because you use your body to practice, you use your body to play. Like, as violinists, we have to have a strong core, good posture, because we're playing for 6 hours a day or more or less. I don't care. What I do is I wake up and I work out for 30 minutes. I do like Pilates on my yoga mat, whatever. I do some movement and then I go downstairs, I practiced, and I am like energized. I want to practice because I have adrenaline in my body, because that's what workout gives me, adrenaline. Now, about planning out your practice session. Do you want to do it before? Or do you want to write down after what you played? And for how many minutes? I don't know, that's up to you. Check what you like. For me, I don't pressure myself into write it down what I want to do or what I've done. But I noticed if I write down after I played something, what I played for how many minutes, that gives me like a clear view on like, yes, I actually practiced that for, I don't know, 1 hour. I practiced that piece for 1 hour and I feel like I did something, because if I don't do that, I don't even know for how long I played and I'm like, did I even do anything today? Did I practice properly? So writing down what you did, it's helping you, you know? Look at your list that you did earlier. Like, look what's most important. Oh, I promised my teacher I will bring this to the lesson today, so I will practice that. Or maybe write down what do I want to practice today, but don't write down for how long. Just see how long does it take you. Don't think like, oh, I will play today for 4 hours. And then you force yourself to play for 4 hours when you don't have that much pieces to play for 4 hours. Maybe say, okay, today I will play this, this and that, and I will see, maybe it will take me 2 hours to practice that. And then you finish and you see, oh, I played for 3 hours. I'm actually proud of myself. Wow, yay, congratulations. I think that's the biggest misconception when you think about practicing, because someone is telling you, oh, I practice for 6 hours a day, and you automatically think like, oh, do I have to practice for 6 hours a day? No, you need to practice your repertoire. You don't need to practice for 6 hours a day, okay? If you're preparing for a competition, if you're preparing for a concert, yes, maybe. But you don't have to practice for 6 hours when you have nothing to play, when you're just starting with your repertoire. You don't have to force yourself for the sake of practicing for 6 hours a day. You can practice for 2 hours, and look, it can be productive. Not the quantity, the quality matters, the quality of your practicing. And it's sometimes better to like really focus for 2 hours and do everything in 2 hours, and not like play mindlessly for 6 hours. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, you're tiring your body. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Stop thinking that you need to practice for 6 hours. It's stupid. It's stupid. During practicing, I'm going to tell you now different methods of practicing. You're welcome. Okay, first method, Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes playing, 5 minutes resting. If I really want to be productive and if I want to feel like I did something today, I'm using Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes playing, 5 minutes resting. And I mentioned that in my previous video. And look, I wrote down 24 things that I have to play. It's not 24 pieces, it's 24 things that I have to play, and each one I can practice during half an hour slot. So, I have scales and technique. I have Bach, first movement, Bach, second movement, Bach, third movement, Bach, fourth movement, etc., etc. You know, it's obvious I'm not gonna practice the whole fugue during half an hour session, but if I want to plan my practice and I'm looking, I can do 2 half-an-hour sessions with the fugue, and I can tune 2 pages today during these 2 half-an-hour slots or whatever. So Pomodoro technique. You play for 25 minutes, you focus, you don't use your phone, you don't take breaks, you just focus on everything, then 5 minutes break. Force yourself to take a break. I don't care if you still have something to tune or to fix or whatever. No, you take a break. Then you're gonna come back to it. That's why I don't like writing down like exactly what I want to play for how long, because I know that doesn't work for me. I know that some things take more time for me, some things take less time. Another method, the second one. This is what we were taught in college during Alexander technique classes. It's very similar. Basically the same thing, but it's like you play for 20 minutes and then you rest for 10 minutes. So it's like giving your body more time to rest. And then, during those 10 minutes, you do semi-supine. You just lay on the ground and you just, I don't know, think about music or don't think about anything. It's just really good for your core, really good for your muscles, especially when you have problems with like pain during practice. When you have pain, for example, in your arm or in your back, you just relax your body for 10 minutes. And then you come back to practicing and you can start with fresh mind, fresh body. It gives effects, it does. Another method is focusing on what you need to do. When you know you're a person that doesn't experience pain during practicing, when you can focus for a longer period of time, you can say to yourself, I will practice this today and then I will have a break. And you will see how long you will be practicing for. I'm gonna practice Caprice now, and this will take me, I don't know how much, but then I will have a break, and then I will practice another piece, and then I will have a break again. And you know, it's just like listening to your body, listening to your brain, listening what it's telling you. When you don't struggle with like organization and planning, and you just trust your body, trust your brain, you can do that. Now that you know all the different methods of practicing, I will tell you a few things that you need to remember during practicing. First of all, be focused, because there's no point in practicing when you're not focused. I mean, you can play through the piece mindlessly and you will be like, I think I play great. I think there's nothing to work on here. If you're actually focused, then you start seeing things. There's no point of practicing if you're not focused. Sorry, but it's work, and it's a hard work for our brain. And you just need to be focused in order to like improve. Another thing about being focused is, as I said, you can't be focused for too long, so take breaks. The second thing is take breaks. Breaks are really important for your mind and for your body. And you know, it's all connected, the focus with the breaks. You need to take breaks in order to be focused. Take breaks whenever you need them, but during breaks, maybe, you know, lie down or sit down, or don't go on social media, don't start texting your friends. Maybe just sit in quiet and like let your brain rest. Because like imagine you're practicing and then like 5 minutes later you're on your Instagram. Your brain can get overstimulated, you know, when you just jump from one thing to another. No, rest in quiet. Leave your phone in a room. You don't need your phone to practice. You're interrupting yourself by using your phone. No, you're not gonna have a good practice session if you're using your phone all the time. Next thing is record yourself. Record not only audio but also video to see how you look like. One thing that my teacher told me is I move too much with my violin. It can't stay in one position. And I recorded myself and I saw that, yes, I move too much. That's true. You see, if you're just going to record audio, okay, you can listen, you can say, okay, I played out of tune. But if you record to the video and you say, oh yeah, I played out of tune, you can see why you did that. Maybe you did something with your body that caused playing out of tune. Act as you're your own teacher. Write down what you want to improve, circle out of tune notes, learn how to be your own teacher. You're not always going to have a teacher. As you grow older, you need to start being your own teacher and seeing what is wrong, what is right, what am I good at, what am I bad at. And recording yourself helps. It really does help. And you should record yourself every day. And you can see your progress, how I played at the beginning of the month and how I'm playing now and there's the end of the month. And you know, like, benefits. It only has benefits. Maybe send a recording to your friend. Maybe have an agreement. I will send you what I practiced today. I will send you like 3 minutes of the piece. You send me 3 minutes of the piece. And we're going to tell each other what we liked, what we don't like. Think about it. If you struggle with practicing, just call someone or FaceTime, mute yourself, and practice together for 2 hours without hearing each other. This is a motivation. You think, oh, someone is practicing, I should practice as well. Okay, 2 hours. We agreed for 2 hours, we'll practice for 2 hours and then we will play for each other, whatever. Another thing, practice with your music. And what does that mean? Well, composers write down things. See what composer told you to do. Like, translate all the Italian words or the German words or whatever you have in there. Like, just know what you're playing, work with your music, try to imagine the notes. Don't listen mindlessly to the recordings and try to mimic another people. Be yourself. Start being more open and start thinking about what you're playing. Another thing, play scales. I used to hate scales, and then when I was like 13, we had a scales exam in my school, and this one girl told me, you know what, I used to hate scales, but then I started playing them, and they're really helpful, you know, they're really helpful. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then 4 years later, I said the same thing to younger girls that told me they hate scales, because they're really helpful. The pieces that you play are just a mixture of like scales, arpeggios, or double stops that you learn. If you play scales, you basically can play anything. Play like exercises for your technique. I play the violin, so I will tell you here what I practice and for what. Next thing is play with metronome. Why? Because I used to know that one person that just would like try to play in tempo from the beginning. He just got the piece and he tried to play in tempo. He didn't care about bowings, he didn't care about fingerings. Then I told him, maybe play with metronome, play in slow tempo. And his playing was really sloppy, because think of it, when you don't pay attention to anything in your music from the beginning of playing the piece, it's going to be more difficult to sort it out later. When you practice, really play slow, like Perlman said that. Listen to the king Perlman, Father Perlman, okay? He said to play slow, I will play slow. Practice with metronome. You don't even notice how uneven your rhythm can be until you play with metronome. I also asked you on the Instagram, what are your tips for practicing? And my friend told me, practice from the end of the piece. Don't practice from the beginning. There's no point in practicing from the beginning if you practice from the beginning every day, because then your beginning is going to be very good, but the end is going to be meh. Start from different pages, you know? I don't know, don't play through the whole piece. Start with the difficult bits. There are a lot of ways that you can practice a piece. You don't have to play through the whole piece every day. If you want to play through the whole piece, just play from the end to the beginning and work from the end to the beginnings in small sections if you want to play the whole piece that badly. Another thing is what I wrote in my Instagram post. Practice out of pleasure and not out of obligation. Of course, we need to practice almost every day to improve. We need to be focused. It's a hard work, you know? Like, people think musicians are just like, oh, playing the pieces, enjoying the music. No, it's the hard work. It's really hard work, physical and mental. You need to work for hours a day, hours to prepare a piece. And now this girl here tells you, play out of pleasure, not out of obligation. Yes. And you know why? Because I'm going to read this to you from my Instagram post. You're not building a healthy relationship with your instrument if you're forcing yourself to practice at all costs. Ta-da! If you feel like you need to take a day or take 2 days of break and just not play for 2 days because it will, I don't know, calm your mind or bring you a new perspective, take a break. It's nothing wrong with that. We need to take longer breaks when we feel burned out. Don't force yourself to play every day, because it's not going to be a quality practicing, you know? For example, for me, I also told that in my last video, when I practice one day for 5 hours, I can't practice the next day for another 5 hours and be as focused as I was. What I do is, one day I know I will practice for 5 hours, and I know next day, for example, I have college, I have less time to play, so I just play for 3 hours and I don't write down what I played. I just go with the flow, play what I want to play what I like. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. After. What do you do after the practicing? Keep a journal. Like, have a journal, have a notebook, or I don't know, write that down in your iPad or whatever. What did I practice today? How much did I practice? And then you have a proof on a paper of how much did you practice. No? If I struggle with pain, because I used to struggle with left shoulder pain, what helped me in pain relief? Swimming pool. Swimming pool People go to swimming pool. Swimming is so good for musicians. I no longer have a pain in my shoulder. You know, that's crazy because you work with your whole body. You swim, you strengthen your core, your arms. It's amazing. Go to the swimming pool and rest. In the end, just rest. Have a life, okay? Don't make your whole life about practicing. Have friends, have hobbies. You don't have to play for 6 hours every day because someone is playing for 6 hours every day. And because you see something on social media, it doesn't mean that it's true. You know, I could tell you like, yes, of course I practice 6 hours every day. I practice 40 hours every day, you know, I'm basically Ling. No, that's not true. I don't practice for 6 hours every day. I can't. It's impossible for me. I'm learning how to, you know. I'm getting better, but you should take small steps. Small steps is what matters. And with that, I'm gonna leave you. Good luck in your practicing. Share your thoughts in the comments and go practice. Bye! And one more thing. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone has different lives, different struggles, different paths. You're you. You have your own path. You have your own goals. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. Think about it.